Bismillah. Last time we stopped about, we were talking about the waters, yeah? We mentioned the hadith about water. السلام عليكم ورحمة السلام عليكم.
No, just go ahead.
Because you're my student. Can you talk to us to Somali to speak on that?
Yeah. Okay. Just let me negotiate there. Up to hadith number 4 last time we read. Well, from this hadith, this is that the conclusion we come to. The water will remain clean. The water will remain clean as long as it has we can call it water. It's not me.
It's only the voices, the people talking very loud, because the sisters are trying to hear. That's the problem. So the voices are raised.
Yeah. Now the water, inside there is the mutlaq water. That includes the water from fountain, water from the rain, water from the sea, because we can't call it water. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَإِن لَمْ تَجِدُوا مَاءً. If you don't find water, you go to the next thing, which is the dirt. فَتَيَمَّمُوا صَعِيدًا طَيِّبًا. So the water, as long as it has not been mixed with anything, and it's called water that is pure unanimously. The water that has been mixed with something that is pure, but has not changed, neither the color, neither the taste, or the smell, that is still called water and is pure. You can use it to clean yourself in any wajib, any like ghusl janaba, ghusl of Friday, or your wudu. And then there is the water that has been mixed with najasa. And here where there is different opinions, the water that has been mixed with najasa, then all the hadith, the ayah from Quran, the verses from the Quran, and all the hadith, sahih hadith and da'if hadith, actually show that this water will remain clean, pure, as long as it has not changed. So water, no matter small amount of water or large amount of water, if there is najasa falling in it, if there is something impure falling in it, like urine or alcohol or anything falling in it, but it has not changed, so it has not changed, the color has not changed, the smell has not changed, the taste has not changed, this water is pure. You can use it to take shower, to take for Jum'ah, for Janaba, to do wudu. This is the opinion of Malik, Ahmad bin Hanbal, the Dhahiris. This is the opinion of a group of Sahaba, Aisha, Ibn Umar, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Hudayfa ibn al-Yaman, Ibn Mas'ud, and many others. The opinion of many tabi'is as well from Medina, Sa'id ibn Musayyib, Sa'id ibn Jubair, Abu Qulaba, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, and others. So the water, when it has been mixed with impurity, but it's still pure, still has not changed, this water you can use it. Let's say someone is in the bath and a boy, for example, come and urinate in it. If this is definitely, that's when this water should remain what? Pure. You can use it as long as you can't see that dirt in it. This is the opinion of those people I have mentioned now. Then there is water, al-ma' al-musta'mal, the water that has been used. Like someone is taking a bath. Someone is taking a bath, and then in the bath he has already used that water. Is this water pure to use again or not? The opinion of the Ahnaf that this water is impure, and the Shafi'is, this is what it shows from the madhab, that this water is impure. It has been used. They say, okay, you are using it, you clean yourself with it, so it is dirty. When you finish, when you clean yourself with this water, it becomes dirty. This is just intellect. This intellect, and it contradicts all the hadith from the Prophet. All the hadith that's from the Prophet, it contradicts even the intellect itself. You see, the Prophet used to take to do wudu, and Sahaba will put their hands waiting for the water to take it, and then they will put it over their bodies. The Prophet used to do madmada, and then push the water, spit the water on the face of some Sahaba. He went to see Jabir ibn Abdullah. He was sick. This hadith is in Bukhari, and he was sick, so he put some water in his mouth, and then he put it over his face, and he woke up. Mahmud ibn Rabi', another Sahabi, he said, I remember he was a boy of 5 years, and the Prophet took some water and he spat on his face for barakah. This water is clean. There is no proof the water is clean. There is no proof that when you use it, it will become dirty. So it's for the person who say it's dirty to bring this proof, and they don't have it. Some Ahnaf use this hadith to say the Prophet said that the zakat, the sadaqah, is haram for the family of the Prophet. Sadaqah is haram, sadaqatu haramun ala ali Muhammad. That the sadaqah is haram for the family of the Prophet, because it's the water, it's the what Ghusalatun nas. Ghusala is this, the water that you use to clean yourself. Ghusala is the water that you cleanse yourself with. So they said the Prophet has forbidden the sadaqah. He considered it to be haram for his family, because it's what people cleanse themselves with it. So the water which you clean yourself with should be haram as well. That of course is not dalil, because even though the Prophet said it's the cleanse of the people, he didn't forbid it for other Muslims to take it. So this is just special for the Prophet, that he shouldn't eat sadaqah. And you can't take any commandment from this hadith to say that the water that you clean yourself with is impure. If that happened, if the water that we clean ourselves with is najis, is impure, then when you take the water first in your hand, you are cleaning yourself. So you clean this part, by the time you have finished cleaning this part, this water, according to their saying, became najis, impure. So when it comes here, rather than clean the other area, it will make it dirty. So you need to clean it again. So they came with this idea to say that no, as long as it's in one limb, it's clean. Until it falls from one limb to the other limb, when it goes out, when it is out of the, it leaves the limb, then it becomes dirty. As long as it's on it, it's clean.
From the akal.
Yeah. He said if it leaves the limb, it becomes dirty. Still, they can't go away from it. Because when you take a shower, now your body, you have the water on your body. When it falls down, it becomes dirty. As long as it's on your body, it's clean. Okay. Then you put your clothes, and this water touches your clothes. Then your clothes should be dirty, because it left the body now. So that doesn't make sense. The water is clean, will remain clean until a hadith, until a verse from Quran says it became dirty, or a hadith from the Prophet will make it say that it became dirty. Now if someone says, okay, this water, what if we put dirt in it and it changes totally? Then it's not water anymore. We can't call it water. We are talking about just water here. And that is the opinion of the Jamhur as well, the opinion of the majority. And then we have the hadith of Abi Hurairah, the hadith number 5, that Allah Messenger said, none of you should take a bath in stagnant water while he is sexually impure. It is haram to take water, to take a bath in stagnant water that doesn't run. If someone has janaba, he must take shower, or not a bath, not put water in a bath and go inside, or like go inside a well. If he does that, the janaba will not go away. He didn't. According to the Shafi'is, for example, and they say, even though they consider, they say this is not haram, it's just makruh. Well, there is no proof. We say that we have been saying that the orders of the Prophet are obligations. When the Prophet say do this or don't do this, means you have to do it. If he say don't do it, you can't do it. And if you do it, then you have done something not according to Quran and Sunnah. You have done something that contradicting Quran and Sunnah. And this shouldn't be enough, shouldn't be sufficient from what Allah has ordered you. Allah has ordered you to, if you have janaba, to take a bath. If you don't take it according to Quran and Sunnah, if you don't do it the way Allah has ordered, then it shouldn't be enough. You still have that janaba. If like someone, you have to do wudu, and Allah ordered us to do wudu with water. So what if someone come and do wudu with vinegar or with juice? We tell him you have no wudu. Anonymously, everybody will tell him, if he does it with except the Ahnaf here, they will tell him that you should do wudu again, except the Ahnaf, of course, in case there is no water. The Ahnaf will say it's not enough if there is water. When there is no water, you can do with vinegar and other stuff. But when there is water, everybody will tell him your wudu is invalid. You have to do it with water the way Allah said. So it's the same thing. If the Prophet said don't take janaba, don't take shower for janaba in stagnant water, we shouldn't take in stagnant water. And if someone does it, then he's still in state of janaba. Yes.
Sorry, is that haram for us to do it in stagnant water? Even though we know our janaba is not going, yeah, but if you're in janaba and you do it, is it haram because the Prophet forbade it?
Yeah, of course. You shouldn't do shower to take janaba in stagnant water. However, what you mean to say, or what you are thinking about, is can someone take a bath for other reasons? Like someone who has janaba and there is stagnant water, he still have time to take shower for janaba, because it's not prayer time. You don't have to do it straight away. It's when you have janaba, you don't have to take shower straight away. It's only when the prayer time is due. Now you have stagnant water and it's hot, and you want to take shower to cool yourself. Then here, according to the Shafi'is, for example, and the Hanbalis, this water is fine to take shower in, with no intention to take your janaba. And the same thing for the Dhahiris. Only they will say, if you do intention for janaba, then it will become haram. If you do the intention to take for janaba, you will be doing haram. But if you just go inside the water without the intention, except the Ahnaf, the other people say, if you go inside, those who say when you go in, the water will become dirty, they say if you don't have that intention, the water is still clean. You make the intention and the water becomes dirty. Well, everybody is Dhahiri sometimes. Everybody follow the words literally sometimes. Yeah. Here, what happens, if someone wants to take shower in a bath, and he doesn't have except a bath, and he need to take shower for janaba, what he should do? He should, for example, fill the bath fully, and then unplug it. And then the water starts running, and then he takes shower inside. And this is not the Dhahiris, surprisingly, only who say this. Even the Hanbalis and the Shafi'is say this. So, because the water will start running, and you are not anymore doing shower, taking a bath in still water. You are doing it in running water. Yeah, and then this hadith as well, لا يبولن أحدكم في الماء الدائم الذي لا يجري ثم يغتسل فيه. And no one of you should urinate in stagnant water that is not flowing, then take a bath in it. So no one should urinate in the water. The hadith here doesn't mean don't urinate in the water and then don't take shower in it. If you urinate in water, don't take a bath in it. It's not the meaning of the hadith. You shouldn't urinate in stagnant water, whether you are going to take a bath in it or not. And then, if you do that, then you shouldn't take a bath in it. So, yes.
It's not haram to
urinate
inside stagnant water.
It is haram to.
So then when we go to the toilet, the water's
the water still.
Who is still?
in the modern toilet.
Yeah, the modern toilet.
Yes. Yeah.
Toilet's designed for that.
Yeah, but you know when a
Toilet's designed to urinate.
Yeah, but like this one I'm saying.
It is stagnant water.
Dhahiri now.
You flash
It is.
Yeah, but
So the water
he
runs.
said if you wee inside it, he never said after you flush or anything.
Yeah.
Weeing inside it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You shouldn't. The hadith say you shouldn't. No one should urinate in stagnant water. It's haram. Whether you are planning to take shower in it or not. You just always, what you can do is to flush it in the meantime.
Yes.
Now there is the hadith. The next hadith is number 6. A man who accompanied the Prophet narrated. A man who accompanied the Prophet narrated that Allah's Messenger forbade a woman from bathing with the water left over by a man, and a man from bathing with the water left over by a woman. Instead, they should both scoop scoop up handfuls of the water together. This hadith is da'if. The hadith, it says here, isnaduhu sahih.
How can
Huh?
I was going to say, how can it be when it's just rajulun majhul?
Yeah, this is rajulun min as-sahaba. He said rajulun min as-sahaba.
Okay.
Now they say, we have to go to usul hadith here. Now, why do they say this hadith is sahih? The hadith says that the Prophet said, that Allah Messenger said, forbade a woman from bathing with water left over by a man. That's mean a woman, if a man takes a bath and leaves some water, a woman shouldn't use it for bath or to do even wudu. And if a woman does the same thing, does wudu with water or take a bath with water, and she leaves something is left, then a man shouldn't use it. If we go properly to the real meaning of the hadith, it's not really only that. It's not only what a woman has left after she took a bath. He say fadl, the leftover of a woman. Maybe what the leftover after she has drunk as well. If she drinks and she leaves some water, that comes after the leftover of a woman. The other thing here is, if we take this hadith, is if we look at this hadith properly, the leftover of the woman and the man with the leftover of the woman, the man, the water, we can't call something left over unless it's less than what have been used. When an Arab say this is a leftover, if you have a glass of water and someone takes a sip from it, we don't say this is fadla, leftover. If he takes most of the water and what is left, that is the leftover. But this hadith, if it was sahih, this hadith normally, if it was sahih, we will have to look at the wording of the Prophet. You see, the Prophet has forbidden the woman from bathing or taking a shower with the water left over by a man. This is not the wording of the Prophet. Will the Prophet say, the Prophet has forbidden? He will not say this. He will say something, and then someone will understand it, and he will put it in his words this way.
Yes.
And this is what we say sometimes. This kind of hadith, we shouldn't take it. We would have to find out what exactly the Prophet has said. Why? Because the Prophet, and we have said this in Usul al-Fiqh, because the Prophet, what the Prophet has said, we call it dhikr. Whatever the Prophet has said is dhikr, is revelation from Allah. And that revelation will be protected. How protected? Protected the way the Prophet said it. The Prophet said, لِيُبَلِّغِ الشَّاهِدُ الْغَائِبَ. The one who is present here must transmit the message to the one who are absent, the Sahaba to the Tabi'een. He said, because some of who are not present here may understand it better than those who are present here. So, because when someone says the Prophet has forbidden, he is giving a fatwa. He is not giving us the hadith from the Prophet.
It's not narrating.
So we need that, because we have found in many occasions, it's not the majority of the time, sometimes, where the Sahabi will say, the Prophet has forbidden. But when you look to the hadith, when he tells us what the Prophet has said, we disagree with him. This is Abu Dhar, for example, narrating hadith from the Prophet, saying that the Prophet has forbidden for anybody to keep any property, that everybody should spend everything he has. Everything, absolutely everything. You shouldn't keep anything for tomorrow. because Allah will provide tomorrow. This is what he understood. But when he told us the hadith, we found that that was not what the Prophet has said. That is his understanding. He said, the Prophet said, I don't like, if I had like a mountain of Uhud of gold, I wouldn't like to spend one night or 2 nights, and anything will remain with me except 1 dinar or 2 dinar. So I would like to spend all this. It doesn't show that it's haram. That is what he would like to do. Actually, in our religion, it's haram to do that. For us, it's haram to do that, because the Prophet said, in many occasions, when he went, for example, to see Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas when he was sick and he wanted to spend his money, he told him the third, and the third is too much. The Prophet Ka'b ibn Malik, when he wanted to make tawbah, and he said, from my repentance I am going to leave everything, I give everything in the cause of Allah. The Prophet said, keep some of your property. And many hadith, there are countless hadith like this. So this is here a Sahabi telling us something, but it contradicts the narration, his understanding.
So can we say this is like laysa riwayah?
This is just fatwa. However, even if it was a fatwa, even if it was hadith, we had this real wording of the hadith, then the issue comes here about the isnad. Now, some people say, some muhaddithin say, unless we know the Sahabi, the name of the Sahabi. You see this hadith here say, a man who accompanied the Prophet. He doesn't give the name of this person. Now there is 2 different opinions when it comes to hadith. Whether we will accept this hadith or not. Some people say it doesn't matter. As long as this person said, this is a Sahabi, we don't need to know his name. This is the majority of the muhaddithin. Some muhaddithin don't agree about this and say there was some people who, sometimes people may mistake someone for a Sahabi. I can give you example. Most of the people who are being said that they are Sahaba trustworthy. But we have 2 or 3 examples. I give you example, Busr ibn Abi Arta'a. Some people, when they write about him, some muhaddithin, when they write his name, they say there is some saying about him falling into fitna, and they don't want to talk about too much about him. They say this is Sahaba, we shouldn't insult him because the Prophet has forbidden insulting the Sahaba. And some people will take his hadith. However, Ibn Ma'in say about this man, he was not from the good people, from the good Sahaba, neither one of the people who followed them with excellence. And he said after that, the people of Medina don't trust him when he say that he met the Prophet. So this is someone who pretended to be a Sahabi, and he was doing a lot of things that the Sahaba didn't, the people didn't like, killing innocent people. He was the leader in his time, and he was killing people, taking property of people, drinking alcohol. So this man, some people, you see, they put him as a Sahabi. Some people say he is not. The people of Medina said he is not. You see, when it comes to Sahaba, how do we know them? It's by people testifying for each other. People saying this is Sahabi, and then we accept. Nobody was there we can't decide someone is a Sahabi or not. We have to rely on other people saying. So this person here, the people of Medina who were living in Medina, who know these things, say no, this man is not a Sahabi. So when say a man who accompanied the Prophet, it may be this man. It may be Al-Walid ibn Uqba ibn Mu'ayt. Al-Walid ibn Uqba is the one who, there is hadith about him in Bukhari and Muslim. He was the leader, he was like a governor in the time of Uthman ibn Affan. And the hadith in Bukhari, what it mentions about him, that he used to drink alcohol. And the hadith where he was mentioned because Uthman bin Affan, people complained about him. He was
the relation of Uthman.
Yes, he was the relation of Uthman bin Affan, and he was the governor, and people complained about him. He prayed for Fajr prayer, four rak'ah, and then when he finished, he said, "Do you want more?" Because no, it's
Drunk.
he was drunk. So this person, we can't trust him. It might be him as well. The other thing here, even for the people who say we should, even for the people who say it doesn't matter if a man is a Sahabi, if someone has been said is a Sahabi, whether who he is, we should take his hadith, then there will be another problem here. You see, the narrator of hadith, the tabi'i, said from a man who, he never said I heard. He said from a man. Now, when we take tabi'i, take Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, and he say from Abu Bakr, we have to look another factor here, another thing. Did he ever meet this man? So when we don't know the Sahabi here, then we won't know if he met him or not, because we don't know his name. And then all these things will make the hadith da'if. And that's why there is no problem for a man to take wudu, to do wudu, or to do ghusl with the water left over by his wife, or for a wife to do ghusl or wudu with the water left over by her husband. And there is another hadith which strengthen this opinion, hadith that is narrated by Muslim. He said, narrated by Ibn Abbas, the Prophet used to bath with the water left over by Maimuna. This hadith is narrated by Muslim. There is another hadith in Abu Dawud and Nasa'i, Ibn Majah and Tirmidhi, that says that the Prophet had taken a bath, that a wife of the Prophet, that one of the wife of the Prophet took a bath from a vessel. Then the Prophet came, and when he wanted to take a bath from that vessel, she said to him, I was sexually impure. He said, water does not become sexually impure. This hadith, though, even though it's da'if, can call it Hasan, the meaning of it is right. The water doesn't become impure by just someone touching this water because who is impure. We say the water doesn't change just by the putting him in a place, or touching him with your hands if you are impure, or a woman is in menses.
Sheikh, this hadith, would it be general or specific for the Prophet ﷺ? Was it only exclusive for him, or when this hadith?
This hadith, we didn't say it's exclusive. Normally, whatever the Prophet has done, you put it this way. Whatever the Prophet has done, you will look at it. If it has to come under his saying. You see, the Prophet here didn't do anything that contradict what we know from religion. Religion say that the water is pure, and that water will remain pure. Now, the Prophet didn't do anything that contradict the Quran, the general saying of the Quran, or the general saying of the Prophet. So his action is always a backup. His action will explain better his saying. His action will explain it. We can understand the saying of the Prophet. His actions will help us understand them. But we shouldn't say this is specific for the Prophet unless it contradicts his saying. When it contradicts his saying, then definitely we'll have to say this is specific. This is special for him. We will have to follow what he said rather than what he has done.
Would this be like the 2 rakahs after Asr, for example?
No, the 2 rak'ahs after Asr has nothing to do with this. The 2 rak'ahs of Asr, there is nothing to say in after Asr that you shouldn't pray if you have to pray, or the hadith of don't pray after Asr is explained by the hadith of Ibn Umar, which says لا تحروا بصلاتكم طلوع الشمس ولا غروبها. Don't try and pray after Asr and pray at the time of ghurub and at time of sunrise, at time of sunrise and sunset. And there is a hadith which is in Abu Dawud, which is not sahih, that لا صلاة بعد العصر إلا والشمس مرتفعة. There is no prayer after Asr except when the sun is still high in the sky. So the last minute when it's about to sunset, that time is tahrim, except when you have to do, when it's an obligation prayer that you have to do, like Tahiyat al-Masjid, or like prayer that you have forgotten. Yeah. And then the 8th hadith is hadith narrated by Abi Huraira. Allah Messenger said, the purification of the utensil, the vessel belonging to one of you, if it has been licked by a dog, is to wash it 7 times using surface soil for the first cleaning. So the purification of the vessel, if a dog licks with its tongue in this vessel, the purification of this vessel is is to wash it 7 times. 7 times, and the 8th time, normally it's 8 times. This hadith has many different narrations. 7 times, and the 8th time, the first one, and so it's like this. The first time is to wash it with. This is the most authentic. They are all authentic. However, the narrators sometimes narrate the meaning rather. They don't bring the exact words of the Prophet. So is to wash it 1 time, to clean it 1 time with the surface of earth, and then 7 times with water afterwards. There is an addition here to this hadith in Muslim, narrated by Ali ibn Mishar alone, from A'mash, from Abi Razin, and Abu Salih from Abi Huraira. This hadith has narrated, as I mentioned this last time, by 10 tabi'in from Abi Huraira. From 10 tabi'in, different tabi'in. All of them, 8 of them, didn't mention anything about throwing out the water. Abu Razin and Abu Salih, but it's narrated by 1 person from these 2 people. It's narrated by 1 person. A'mash narrated from these 2 people, and from him, everybody who narrated this hadith narrated it like everybody else, except 1 person called Ali ibn Mishar, and he said that the water should be emptied, that we have to throw the water. It doesn't have the water actually, it says anything that is in the vessel. The majority contradict this hadith anyway. They say if it's water you have to empty it, but if it's something else you have to, like Malik, he say if it's food you shouldn't throw it. Well, this, yes.
Carrying on.
Yeah.
You know, I read Abu Hanifa, he said that 3 is wajib. Is that right? He said 3 times, washing it 3 times is wajib.
No, Abu Hanifa says that cleaning this. We didn't go to who say that you have to clean it 7 times. The Abu Hanifa say you clean it. 1 narration, 1 time is enough. But that shows that he didn't hear the hadith. Probably he never knew about the hadith. and his followers say that you wash it 3 times, and some of them say wash it 1 time, and they say Abu Huraira, who narrated the hadith, contradicted. And it is the usul of the Ahnaf. The Ahnaf rules of understanding. They say if a Sahabi narrate a hadith but he doesn't act upon it, we don't take the hadith, because that shows that the hadith is abrogated. And this is the usul of the Ahnaf only. But they don't do this all the time. For example, Aisha narrated the hadith about the suckling of that if someone is breastfed by a woman, if someone is breastfed by a woman, the husband of the woman will be his father, and the brother of that man will be the uncle. So if, let's say, a woman had breastfeeding from a woman, the brother of the husband of that woman is her uncle, so he is mahram for her. He's like her uncle. Aisha narrated this hadith from the Prophet, but she didn't used to act upon it. Like when it comes to acting, she will like deny it, but she narrated it. We say here in these cases, we say that the Sahabi may narrate hadith and forget about it, but we have to take what he said from the Prophet. What he has done, that is, we don't have to follow him. Except the Ahnaf here, they say if the Sahabi narrates something and narrates something from the Prophet, contradict it, we take what he has done rather than what he has narrated from the Prophet. But here they have taken what Aisha has narrated from the Prophet and not what she has done.
So they've opposed themselves.
They oppose themselves. They have quite some, not one only. I just gave you an example, but they do this sometime.
Is that the same as the beard?
No.
You know this hadith about suckling? You know how he's saying it's the mother, if he suckles it, then it's the mother. Can it even be like a slave or a wet nurse?
Anyone, the Prophet suckled from a slave, and she was his mother. All his life, he treated her not like a mother. That's mean it's haram for him. She will not inherit from him. She will not. You understand? Mother. Yeah, it's haram for him. He can't marry her forever. And all her children are his brothers and sisters.
So he can be them.
They're mahram, yes, of course. This is something that there was different opinions about this amongst the Sahaba, but we don't know any different opinion today, because the four madhahib, they agree about this now, and people normally, majority of people, they are all either follow hadith like the Dhahiris or they follow the four madhahib. So for today we don't know. I personally don't know anyone who say something different. But amongst the Sahaba there was different opinion.
So it's not got to do with being a slave.
What?
It doesn't have to be a like.
No. Anyone. Can anyone? The Prophet, for example, take this hadith. The Prophet, the daughter of Salama, Zainab, the daughter of Salama. Some wives of the Prophet thought that he is going to marry her. They thought that he is going to marry the daughter of his wife, Salama. The Prophet was like, he said, who told you this? If she was not my stepdaughter on my lap, it's mean living with me, if she was not my stepdaughter, she would have been haram for me. She is my niece. I and her father have breastfeeding from Thuwayba who was a slave. So this girl here, this Salama daughter, who was his stepdaughter, he considered her to be his niece, because he was the brother of Abu Salama. he did the same thing with Hamza. When they told him, why don't you marry the daughter of Hamza? He said, she is my she is my niece, because Hamza was his uncle, but he was his brother. When it comes to they had breastfeeding from the same woman.
And didn't he divorce two companions because the companions didn't know they were breastfed by the same woman?
Yeah, Uqba ibn Amir, this hadith in Bukhari, Uqba ibn Amir came to the Prophet and said, I married a woman, the daughter of Abu Ihab, and then black slave woman, a black slave woman came to us and told us that she suckled us with both. She gave us, breastfed us with both of us. And then Prophet told him, leave her. Leave this woman that you are married, that you have married. So here the Ahnaf, we go back to the hadith. The Ahnaf said that the washing should be 3 times. No need for dirt. Because Abu Hurairah, the narrator of hadith, has given fatwa to someone to just clean the vessel 3 times. So they said we have to follow his opinion rather than the hadith that he has narrated. Their argument for that is, if he knew that this hadith was not mansukh, he wouldn't have contradicted it. But that is very weak argument. The Sahabi might forget sometimes or sometimes he might do some kind of ta'wil, do some like ta'wil, what you say,
Interpretation.
yeah,
He narrated to leave it, but
yeah. No, do wrong interpretation of the hadith. So there is another saying here, which is Ibn al-Qayyim came up with. He contradicted everybody before him, but he came with Ibn al-Qayyim says, since today we have soap, he said instead of using dirt we can use soap, and that is not acceptable. Whatever the Prophet has said, we have to follow it and not change the religion. He has, according to Ibn al-Qayyim, there is something called the changing of religion according to the time and the place. So he has this a lot. He comes with stuff like this because the time has changed and the things have developed. Some stuff can change that. So this is wrong. And then the hadith number 9, the hadith of Abi Qatada, أن رسول الله, that the Prophet said about the cat, it is not unclean, but is one of those who intermingle with you. Yeah, it's about the cat, that it's not unclean. Not everything that is haram is unclean. There is nothing in Sharia that says anything that is haram is unclean. Especially if we go to the Jamhur, for example, to the majority, when it comes to alcohol, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّمَا الْخَمْرُ وَالْمَيْسِرُ وَالْأَنصَابُ وَالْأَزْلَامُ رِجْسٌ, unclean. He mentioned 4 things, one of them is alcohol, and he said it's unclean. The majority here, they say it's not unclean. It's not unclean. They say the alcohol is clean. Physically it's clean. It means if you touch it, they say this unclean doesn't mean physical. What we call najasa ma'nawiyya. It means it has nothing to do. They say it's not unclean. But
is that correct?
no, it is not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the Quran is unclean. So if you touch alcohol, you have to wash your hand. If you have alcohol on your hand before you go to pray, or you have to clean your hands, you have to keep away. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala call it dirt, and He said keep away from dirt. Yeah, but so it's not. But that's mean they agree that everything that is haram doesn't mean it's definitely unclean. You see, for us, some women are haram for us. Everybody's mother is haram for him, but it doesn't mean he is unclean. And you can say that, okay, this is not haram for everybody, it's haram forbidden for some people only. The thing is, haram doesn't mean unclean. And for someone to say this thing is unclean because it's someone is unclean, he must prove it. And this hadith, even though it's da'if in isnad or hasan according to some, then it has nothing to contradict what Quran and Sunnah. The cat, if it drinks from water, this water will not become impure. If the cat was impure, najis, then still the water will still be pure until one of its characteristics has changed. And then we have the hadith of Ibn Umar. Narrated Ibn Umar, Allah Messenger said, 2 types of dead animals and 2 types of bloods have been made lawful to us, for us. The 2 types of dead animals are locusts and fish. You know what locusts are? Yeah?
The flying cricket.
Yeah, grass choppers. Yeah. So, the narrated Ibn Umar, Allah Messenger said 2 types of dead animals, animals and 2 types of blood have been made lawful for us. The 2 types of dead animals are locusts and fish, while the 2 types of bloods are the liver and the spleen. The hadith is narrated by Ibn Majah, of course, and Ahmad. This hadith is weak according to the majority of the muhaddithin. So it's not the majority of muhaddithin anyway considered to be da'if. It's narrated by Yazid ibn Abi Ziyad. There is in one narration Yazid ibn Abi Ziyad who is da'if, later ibn Abi Sulaym who is da'if, and other narrations. As for the meaning of the hadith, we have the fish. The fish, anything that is in the sea is halal. Because of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَحِلَّ لَكُمْ صَيْدُ الْبَحْرِ وَطَعَامُهُ. It has been made halal for you, the fish, the hunt of the sea. It has been made lawful to you, the hunt of the sea, and its food. So anything that comes out of the sea is halal.
Is the ikhtilaf with lobsters and prawns
Or the shellfish.
Yes, the Shafi'i, the Ahnaf only, the Ahnaf only say that anything that is not in the form of fish is haram. Like, and they mention these names: the dog of the sea, the
Octopus.
the swine of the sea. All these names people have made after. It's not people made up after the Sharia has been established. People, there is no such thing as swine of the sea or the dog of the sea. People, anyone can give it any name, and different nations give it different names. So, but what we know from the hadith, the Ahnaf as well will make haram any fish that has been dead in the water. They say if the fish is above the water, floating in the water, is haram. They say if the fish, the whale, the hadith is clear in Muslim, Bukhari and Muslim, the hadith of Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah when he took the army and then they found the whale. Yeah, and then they have eaten from it, and then they went back to the Prophet, and the Prophet asked them if they had. Some Ahnaf tried to say this is a necessity. They ate it because they had no food, but that's not true, because when they came back to Medina, in Medina there is food, and the Prophet asked them if they had anything left for him to eat. This hadith shows that. Anyway, the ayah in the Quran shows that anything in the sea is halal. You don't need to slaughter or to, you just take it, grab it and eat it.
So what is the meaning of metatani here? What does it mean, dead?
Dead, even if it's dead, even if you take a fish from the water,
It's just floating.
yeah, floating, you still eat it. Doesn't matter it has how long it has been dead, or you shouldn't, you don't slaughter fish anyway.
Yeah.
So I can't have crabs. Can't have crabs.
Crabs maybe will be haram. Crabs might be haram. I don't know why, because crabs they don't die. People take them and put them in hot water, and that is torturing with the
Life thing.
something that is life. You put it in hot water, and the Prophet has forbidden anyone to torture with the torture of Allah. So that is something different. You can't eat, for example, anything that you can't cook before it's dead, then it's haram. If the crab is something that lives in outside the sea, that's definitely haram, because it's not from the food of the sea.
It's the same with lobster as well, Sheikh.
I don't know.
I think they do the same in the restaurants. They put it live.
I don't
They
know.
boil it.
Yeah.
Eat it.
Yeah. Okay. The one is the fish, and the other thing is the locust. Yeah, locusts. The locusts here, the majority consider the locusts to be halal, and it's based on this and another hadith which is in the Sahih by Zayd ibn Arqam. He said we had 7 battles. They went in 7 battles with the Prophet, and they used to eat locusts. So this is the proof of the majority that is the locusts are halal. But this is not good enough. Why? Because dead meat is haram. What make a meat not dead? If you slaughter it in the right way. How do you slaughter in the right way? The Prophet said, "Ma anhara dam," anything that make the blood flow. Wa dhukira smullah, and you mention the name of Allah. Fakul, then eat. It's halal. Now, those who eat the locusts, they don't slaughter them, definitely. You can't slaughter every locust. And even if you slaughter it, then there will be no blood flowing. You see, this is why the majority say the snails are haram. This is why they say all these insects are haram, because you can't slaughter them. There will be no blood flowing. They gave exception to the locusts for this hadith, which is da'if, and the hadith that the Zayd ibn Arqam, we went in the battles and we used to eat locusts. When they go to the battles all the time, there is something called necessity. They can eat anything when they have no food. One of these things that people will tend to eat is the locust, because they are used to it. So to eat something haram that you are used to, it's easier than eating something that you are not used to. And this hadith is not clear enough to make it halal. The halal and haram. And he didn't here say these 7 battles were after or before the hadith was mentioned. Hadith of Rafi' ibn Khadij, that he said, Ya Rasulullah, they were in battle, and he asked the Prophet, they said, tomorrow we are going to meet the enemy, and we don't have any knives. So can we use qasab, kind of wood to slaughter with? He said, anything that makes the blood flow, run, and you mention the name of Allah, then eat. Not the tooth or the nail. So because the locusts can't be slaughtered and the blood can't be flow, it should be considered to be haram by that hadith. Then the hadith of Abu Huraira, the Prophet has said, if a fly falls in the drink, if the fly falls in the drink of one of you, he should fully immerse it and then throw it away. If the fly falls in a drink, then he should fully immerse it and then throw it away, because there is disease in one of its wings and cure in the other. So if a fly, and not any fly, the fly that we call fly, in Arabic it's dubab, if it falls in a drink of any one of you, he must immerse it inside and then throw the fly. Some people said for the people who follow the words of the Prophet literally, we told them, okay, if you follow the words of the Prophet literally, then is it permissible for someone to tell someone else to immerse it in his behalf? You see, when we spoke about last time about someone urinating in the water, they said, okay, if you take it that way, then do you say about the Prophet said if the dog licks a ball, then you should wash it, your ball, then you should wash it 7 times. This is how the hadith say. They say, okay, is it possible for someone to tell his servant to wash it for him? You say, because you follow the words literally, and the hadith say you should wash it, and you are saying if he doesn't urinate directly, then he can use the water. What here when the Prophet said you should wash it, do you say that someone else can wash it for him? So the answer for this is clear and easy. No one in Arabic language, no one can urinate for someone else. No one can drink for someone else. I can't tell you drink for me. Yes? But I can tell you build this house for me. You see, the Prophet conquered Mecca. Was he the person who conquered Mecca? It was the army. The Prophet built the mosque in Medina. Was he the person who built the mosque in Medina? Even if he didn't do anything, we say this person has built this mosque. The king of Saudi built the new mosque. He never put his hand in there. It was his order. This is Arabic language. But no one drinks for another person. No one urinates for another person. So they still following the exact wording of the Prophet, where it's possible, where it's not, just following the Arabic language. So if a dog licks a vessel of someone, he can ask his servant to wash it, and we say he washed it. It was washed by his order. And there is hadith narrated by Abu Waqid al-Laythi. This is number 13. Narrated Abu Waqid al-Laythi, Allah Messenger said, whatever portion is cut off from an animal while it is alive, it's dead meat. This hadith is narrated by Tirmidhi. Tirmidhi said it's Hasan. This hadith is da'if, according to others. And the meaning of his hadith is still sahih. If you don't slaughter properly, slaughtering, the Shari'i slaughter, the slaughter which is right in Sharia, is only what is done in the throat or in the chest. There is 2 types of slaughtering. Dhabh in Arabic and nahr. Dhabh is when you slaughter in the neck. Some animals you can't do that with them. It will be like torturing, like for the camel, because of the neck is too long. The way they slaughter a camel is to take a knife, put it in the chest, and cut.
Down.
Yeah, this is the tadhkiyah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered in Quran. Tadhkiyah is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the dead meat is forbidden from you except what you have cut off, the kaito. And then the Prophet explained what is the tadhkiyah. It has been dhabh which is done in the neck, throat, or the nahr which is done in the chest. Anything that has been cut from the animal before.
When I was in Algeria, they eat that. They give it to the people, you know, the homeless. They eat it.
They eat what?
This neck part, and the butchers used to give it in the end of the day. You know, the homeless.
The neck.
people. Yeah, the head and these things.
Well, the head is not the head. You don't cut it from the body. The head is still halal.
They used to sell them. The homeless people used to.
Yeah, but
sell them.
why do not sell it? Why it's haram? It's
That's
haram.
only the area where the.
No, it's not what he is saying here. What he is saying, if you take an animal and you cut the feet,
Okay.
and the animal is still alive,
Oh, then the feet.
the feet you cut it completely.
Right. Removed.
Yeah. The animal here, this feet here is haram. It's dead meat because the animal is still alive. If you slaughter sheep,
Right.
but what you do is you cut completely the head.
Okay.
You just chop it.
Yeah.
The animal is still moving.
Yeah.
It's alive, still alive,
Yeah.
and the head is completely removed.
Right.
Then
So they must wait
you have to cut it to slaughter.
and wait.
Keep it as one body, and when it's dead, then you start cutting it. If you cut anything before it's completely dead, then you have it's meta. It has not been taken from a properly slaughtered animal. This hadith, even though it's da'if, but the meaning it's the opinion of the majority as well, and it's the opinion of the four madhab.
Sheikh, why did he bring the 10th hadith? Was this hadith brought in the bab just to show that the water was purifying the area?
Probably.
Okay.
But the
Strange place to put it.
No, the dead meat, the dead meat here, it's considered to be najis. The Prophet has said, "Tahuru ayyuma ihabin dubigha faqad tahur."
Okay.
The skin, any skin that any animal skin that has been done with dibagh. Dibagh is this, to clean it with some stuff of pomegranate and
Tanning.
tanning. So if you do this dibagh, the skin will become pure. Meaning it was not pure beforehand. So the dead animal is not considered to be pure. The hadith here, and I don't know why he didn't bring anything concerning this hadith, which is in this hadith in Bukhari and Muslim, about any skin that has been tanned, then it will be pure. The madhab, the understanding of Shafi'i of this, that if a swine skin has been tanned, then it will be halal. Because the hadith is general. Ayyuma ihabin dubigha. Any skin that has been tanned will become pure. So the majority say the swine and the dog are excluded.
Is this correct opinion?
But the Shafi'is say no. As long as a Muslim doesn't do it himself, or if he does it with something, he covers himself, because it is considered to be haram to touch the blood of swine. The Prophet said, whoever played with dice is like someone who has put his hand in the blood and flesh of swine. This shows it's haram. When the Prophet gives these examples, the Prophet said, لَيْسَ لَنَا مَثَلُ السَّوْءِ. It's not for us the bad examples. So this is a bad example. It shows that it's haram to touch the flesh of swine or the blood of swine. If someone else, yes.
Is this, when the Prophet talked about playing with dice, was this in relation to gambling or just?
No, it has nothing to do with gambling. You have to take every hadith. This hadith has nothing to do with gambling. Gambling is haram, no matter how you do it. But playing with dice is haram as well. Whether you do it with, if you do it with gambling, it will be double haram for two reasons. But to play dice just like this will be haram.
I read the translation of a hadith where the same Prophet said the same thing about playing chess.
No, the hadith of playing chess is daif.
Okay.
The hadith of playing chess is daif, according to the majority. The hadith of playing chess is sahih from a saying of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Yeah, that he came by people playing chess, and then he said, "Ma hadhihi at-tamathil allati antum laha aakifun." What's these idols that you are? But it doesn't look that he considered to be. He is the narrator of the hadith that the Prophet sent him. Don't leave any picture or shape except by destroying it. And all he said that you are standing next to tamathil. There is shapes here. You know, the elephant and the
Queen, the king,
and the horse. This is like made up things. So that's what he didn't like. To say that shatranj is haram, you need separate dalil for that. What time is it?
Now
Yeah, it's almost. We should not wait until the last minute, so we have to stop here.
And just the brothers, I don't know if they know in England, but when I was a child, my mother used to give me pig's blood to eat in the morning, in breakfast. And in England it's called black pudding. So if you see something black pudding, wallah, it's in Tesco's, in Sainsbury's, you can buy any shop. This was tradition for me when I was a baby. They said, yeah, it makes you strong. My mother raised me on this. And in Caribbean, it's a big thing, you know, to have black pudding. In England, it's dying now. So the black pudding is not pudding, it's not black, it's pig's blood, coagulated.
Is it nice? Is it nice?
It's horrible. It's horrible. But your baby, you have to do what your mom says.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and they cut it in slices and fry it. And this even you can buy it in the cafe still today in London. That's what they eat, pigs, coagulated pig's blood.
Yes.
Because brothers don't know, black pudding, what's that?
Chef, just quickly
It's
before we
thick.
finish, I
It's
spoke
not
to a
running
chef.
anymore, they make it thick with flour.
He said it's a principle in Usul Fiqh.
Yeah.
It said at the Raya.
Sadd al-Dhara'i'.
Now, it
Said-
said whatever leads to haram is haram.
Yeah, this is Sadd al-Dhara'i'. This is a new religion. This is a different. You see, Sadd al-Dhara'i' as this, because people might fall into haram. We make things haram for them to stop them from falling into haram. They say all the religion is Sadd al-Dhara'i'. The Prophet has forbidden people from going to graves because they may do shirk.
This is the example we use, Chef, as well.
This is, for example, Aisha said, if the Prophet have seen what the women have done after him, they would have stopped them from going to the mosques. So they say she knows the Sharia, and she thought that if the Prophet have seen what the women have done after him, they would have stopped them from going to the mosques. Yeah.
There's no basis, Chef.
Yeah, but look at this. Look at this. Aisha, who said this, never stopped the woman from going to the mosques. she used to order her nephew Al-Qasim bin Abdul Rahman to let his wife to go to the mosque. She didn't think that she had the authority to do that. Huh? And another thing here, the Prophet will not, if the Prophet have seen what the women have done, he wouldn't have stopped them from going to the mosques. Why? The Prophet did dislike sometimes some stuff, and he is the one who said about يا أيها الناس إنه ليس لي تحريم ما أحل الله. It's not for me to make haram what Allah has made halal. This is what the Prophet has said. This hadith narrated by Muslim. Yeah, and if the Prophet didn't know what the woman will do after him, Allah knew what the woman will do after the Prophet, but he still ordered the Prophet to tell the Sahaba and the Muslims after them to let their wives go to the mosques. It is permissible to use dhikr beads. It is permissible to use dhikr beads because there is nothing to stop us from. The bid'ah is this. Bid'ah is to create something in religion. To create something in religion. Meaning you create something in religion and you think this will make you closer to Allah. Huh? Nobody thinks that if he does dhikr by beads rather than doing it by hands, he will be closer to Allah. These beads are to remember or to count the numbers rather than you should concentrate on your dhikr. So that will help you. It's like someone praying in the mosque and is praying 12 rak'ah, but he might forget. What he does, there is 6 pillars in the mosque, so I pray here 2 rak'ah and then here 2 rak'ah and here 2 rak'ah, so I remember. It is, religion is dhikr. How to count it is your business. Religion is Ramadan. How to count the months, the days of the month with the calendar, or it's your business. The adhan is religion. How to know the timing? I know that we go to the calendar, because we know from experience that this is the time will come. So you go to the calendar. That is not bid'ah. The Hajj is religion. The Prophet went on camel. We go on a car, or So it has nothing to do. People don't think that beads will make them approach to Allah. If they think that way, then they are adding to the religion.
But if the hadith that the fingers will witness,
that hadith is da'if, and if it was sahih, then it will be mustahab to do that. It will not stop you. It will not stop you from doing anything else. You can do it, then it means you can do it. But it doesn't say that it will be the only way to count your dhikr.